My name is Jairo Ocando. I'm originally from Venezuela, but now I'm a British citizen, so I hold dual nationality, Venezuelan and British. I am a lecturer in journalism studies at the University of Sheffield, and I'm the coordinator of the MA in Global Journalism. And I just had my first child, in the late 1990s, and I wanted to basically spend more time with him. So I took the excuse to do a master's in the UK. I was offered a scholarship to do a PhD. Somebody noticed that I was very interested in doing those things. So I said, okay, I'm going to start and do my PhD at least. And those 3 additional years became 15 years. But like John Lennon says, life is what happens when you're planning something else. People don't realize this, but it's really, really hard to leave your country. It's where all your family is. It's where all your friends are. I'm completely unapologetic. The truth is, the majority of the immigrants, we come here to look for a better life. But what I really don't like about this country is the behavior of both the political elite and the economic elite and the media elite allowing and justifying and legitimizing all the time languages of exclusion. It's a country that have proclaimed, and this is a historical, the language of freedom and the language of liberalism and the language of equality. But that in practice, only that equality, freedom applies to a certain group. I speak at home with my kids Spanish.
Okay.
But most of the time I speak English because I'm in work.
It's interesting. Have you ever forced your kids to speak English with you? Because if they want to make it in this land, they gotta speak English.
Well, but I didn't teach them. They learn it. They learn it very English because you have the environment, you have the television, you have the school, you have the friends. Actually, what I was competing was trying for them to remain with Spanish because I thought it was important for them to keep Spanish as a second language. So that's really the battle, not to learn English, actually to keep the mother tongue of their father. I think nationalisms are overrated. I was born in the border between Venezuela and Colombia.
Oh.
Okay? No, and that made a very big difference because I had families on each side. And when you live in that border, you understand really that this whole idea of nationhood is silly because people are people. Answering your question, do I feel more Venezuelan or British? I would say, I hope I never have to make that choice. Well, this is the funny thing because it used to be the assumption, even in the Victorian times, even during the height of the empire, that certain people from Britain, in that time included the empire, of course, had certain rights that at some point some of the rights became equal. So you could be a Hindu in Delhi and in that time, and you had the right to go to court, even if the court was biased, but there was some right. Because if you're a Pakistani or Indian origin person and you try to go for a job, you have less chances to get a job.
Yes.
That's a fact. But it's a historical construction. This country was an empire. And that empire had subjugated many, many countries all over the world, and they treated these people as inferiors. And that historical narrative that proclaims superior elites in Britain to be superior to other people is still very present today in many political parties, in many elites, in many political leaders who as parrots and very uncritically repeat this same narrative of superiority, and that's always present in the media.
So that also answers the next question. The racism you think still exists?
Of course, and it's very pronounced. It just has mutated. that's a stupidity that was created during the height of the empire basically to promote that they were a race that was superior to the other. But there's no such thing as race. It doesn't exist. So the fact that you have one of the main newspapers in Britain still talking about race tells you about the degree of stupidity and imbecility that still is present in many minds in this country. A couple of times, a couple of times. I mean, any immigrant who has come in this country. I'll tell you one incident that still haunts me. I was in a bus with my two kids, and somehow I don't look really like I do Latino for somebody who looks Latino, but there's not a lot of Latinos, and I look a bit Arab because of my beard. And this group of young men, very threatening, very much bigger than me, start shouting Taliban, Osama bin Laden to me in the bus, and I did nothing with my kids here. I had my I was going to be stupid to confront them, and it's stupid, it's imbecile, like the politicians who draw them.
In which way?
It's a policy that has been constructed by political pressures, because immigration in this country is not a problem. Let me clarify that. If you look at statistics, all the studies have shown that there's no evidence whatsoever that immigration takes jobs away from people, or the immigrants, even in terms of how much they pay and how much they get from welfare. It comes to some sort of balance. So, and to me, it's a policy that basically reflects a mental laziness from the political elite, and because of that, it's doomed to fail, as it has failed. Okay, and I think that unless we understand that immigration is a good thing, then immigration makes the economy grow, then immigration creates the distribution of wealth, then what we need is to create a framework so the immigrants can contribute as much as possible